By now, you should have sat down and written out a list of the things that you enjoy doing, the things that you like doing. Now we're going to move on to things that you are good at. The intersection between the two is going to be very important, and we're going to then intersect with what there's a market for. We're going to be looking at market viability in the upcoming videos. But right now, we want to match what you enjoy doing and what you're good at doing. You can enjoy doing something, but if you're not good at it, then it's very unlikely you're going to be able to generate revenue from it. Yes, what you like can lead to what you're good at, but we're doing this as a business process at the moment rather than a learning process. By all means, continue to get better at the things you enjoy doing, but right now let's focus on the things you're already good at, because that's going to help us get to a viable business in a much shorter duration. So, as before, we're going to be sitting down and writing out a list, and it can be from life, it can be from work. Generally, we're going to start with things that we do professionally, because that's where we're going to have the most professional competency, but do also think about parts of your personal life as well, recreational activities, for example, things that you know well enough that perhaps you already teach them, or perhaps you're already a go-to source of information. But for now, let's focus on the professional world. So the easiest is to start with what your actual job is. If you have a job, think of your job description, and we can start to note down the particular skills that you bring to that job, the particular tasks that you are competent to complete. Qualifications are useful here. If you are a medical doctor, for example, that is something that the majority of people do not have. That is a skill that you do have, which can be turned into a business. So degrees, qualifications, any professional training, stick that all in your list. Are you a teacher? Do you already teach people, whether it's online like this, or whether it's in person? Maybe you just do small workshops, maybe you do in-house training. It's still teaching. Anytime when you are communicating your expertise to another person, consider that teaching. Even if you aren't a qualified teacher per se, you are still a mentor, a guide, a coach, and a teacher, somebody who is helping somebody who knows less about a subject to increase their skill. Again, write this down. It's very easy when we're thinking about what we're good at to discredit our particular skills, because we don't see them as particularly special. For example, I'm not very good at detailed number work like accounting or bookkeeping. I know this, and that's fine, but I have colleagues, I have people I work with, I have friends who are wonderful at this kind of thing. So I will go to them with accounting questions or tax questions, for example, and they're able to give me an answer just off the top of their head, very easily, very naturally. But then if I was to ask them what their particular skills are, they might not actually list accountancy or tax law or attention to detail as one of their skills. They won't think they're necessarily good at it, because for them it's second nature. They don't need to think about it. Well, of course it's this and that. How can you not know? And they don't necessarily think there's anything special about knowing this information. But for me, coming to them as an outsider, I see them as a resource, as somebody who knows a lot more than me, as somebody I could learn from, as somebody who I'm happy to take advice from. So if you're having trouble thinking of your own particular expertise, go and ask. Ask your peers, ask your colleagues, ask your loved ones. They'll be able to give you a much less biased view of what you're good at, and you might be surprised about all the wonderful things people believe that you are capable of that you would never think of yourself. So we do tend to discredit or not necessarily think about our own particular attributes and skills. So do go and ask external help in order to get a more balanced view of yourself. The other way to think about this is, what are you the go-to person for? If there's a problem in the office or at home, what do people come to you about? If there is, at home, for example, a fuse is blown, are you the person who's going to be doing that? In which case you are probably the handiest person in the household. if at work people come to you about organising a staff party, or you're the one who's always dealing with birthdays and making sure everybody feels, a sense of belonging, that is a skill. That's something that you're good at, something that people recognize you're good at, and they come to you for that. So don't discredit them, even if it's a very small thing like I organize the office birthday parties. That means you're an event organizer. You are a person people think is reliable and responsible and will get that event done to the best of your ability in order to make people in the office feel part of the community and feel more at home. Don't discredit things like this. Anything that people come to you for is for a reason. It's because you're good at doing that. You've been able to do that before, and you're reliable, and you've become the go-to resource. So note these down again. So we want your qualifications, your actual work, what you do, diplomas, anything official. We can start the list with that. That's nice and easy. Most people stop at this point. So we now want to continue that and think about what we teach whenever we mentor or coach people. Let's add that in there as well. Then let's go and ask others what they think we're good at and add that. That's the third. And then also have a think about what you are the go-to for and add in those. So that gives us 4 different ways to elicit information about what we're good at that you should be adding to this list. And shortly we're going to be comparing this list of what we're good at and what other people think we're good at with the list of what we like doing and what we enjoy doing, and we're going to start to look for intersections between these two. And then, as mentioned before, we're going to be adding in the market and working out where the 3-way intersection is, and that's going to be the niche that we're going to want to be focusing on moving forward.